Hi, I'm Euge Valovirta, and this one is in the style of Vito Bratta. Alright, that was White Lion's Wait from their second album, Pride, which is kind of their first major label album. And, the band, as we knew, at least back then, as White Lion, first appeared on that album. So the first album, Fight to Survive, there was only Vito and a Mike Trapp, Danish singer and drummer and bass player, I don't remember. But on Pride, was James Lomenzo on bass. You might know him from Pride and Glory, currently plays in Megadeth. And the drummer, Greg D'Angelo, they joined. So that group made three absolutely fantastic albums. I love them so much. I had them on vinyl. I bought them, back in the day when I was a kid, late 80s, early 90s. Pride, Big Game, Main Attraction. Probably my favorite is the Main Attraction. It's kind of the heaviest, and Vito kind of plays, almost like Zakk Wylde's kind of pentatonic stuff in there, and a lot more heavier riffing and stuff. But the biggest hits, I guess, were on Pride and Big Game, because when Main Attraction came, early 90s, when grunge was coming, then they kind of, it wasn't anymore that popular, the hair metal, even though Main Attraction is really good hard rock album. And I think Vito took that as an exit, because I just read from the latest Guitar World, now it's June 2022, there's Vito Bratta's interview. Like, the last interview I read about Vito was from my old guitar worlds. This is from '89. Young Guns of Metal. Red Beach, Vito Bratta, Zakk Wylde. So it was really nice to read about him because he's such, you know, Vito, if you're watching this, you are highly respected and missed you and your music. So it would be awesome if you could do something again. But we still have those White Lion albums, which are so good, and the playing is, I mean, yeah, he's one of a kind. There's definitely, yeah, obviously Eddie kind of tapping thing, but Vito uses tapping like no one else. As I read from the latest Guitar World, where his interview, that he said that he composed his solos in his head, and then whatever technique was needed to get those results, you know, out from the amp, you know, that he heard in his head, then that's what he used. And like you know, the weight solo, it's like, it's a song within a song. Yeah, there's tapping, but it's not like your basic. It's so cool. The gear I use now is a bit similar than what Vito used. So he was, you know, known to use Strats and Steinberg guitars. And on that Guitar World interview, he said that he did the Pride album with his Fender Strat, with Floyd Rose, and with single humbucker. That humbucker, if I remember correct, was a Duncan JB. Well, I have a Super Strat Warmoth Tokai Hybrid Floyd Rose. This is EMG 81. And, you know, a bit later, Vito started to use Steinberg guitars, and on those he had EMGs. So it's a bit similar. And the amp, Vito says in the interview, he used on the album was his 100 Marshall Plexi boosted with Tube Screamer. So what I use, I have my old 808 Screamer there. That's an exact replica with the real original parts from Ibanez. My friend made that in Finland 20 years ago. So yeah, Tube Screamer, drive barely open, level almost maxed, tone around 2, then into 50 watt Plexi. Everything is on 8, except middle is on 6.5. And the loudness too is down, so it's pretty much like this, not completely cranked. Then it goes to Sandrock React IR, but I'm not using it as a reactive load, as IR loader. I'm using the fantastic cab attenuator, what it has, and then it goes to a Marshall 9060 BX cabinet. And I'm miking the single Celestin 25 watt greenback with a SM57. And then it goes into audio interface and into Cubase. And as you heard on the song, I had a little bit of delay in there, a little bit also reverb blended in, and a tiny amount of Eventide harmonizer, no pitch shifting mode, just to make it a little bit wider, you know, 80s thing. So that's what you hear now. I'm not gonna hear the effects because I'm listening myself via the cab, but they are on the track inserts. That little, you know, nice thing. In the style about his playing, I mean, he was a master. Well, I think he still is. You know, I just heard him of chord inversions, different chords. I mean, this song is fairly simple, kind of 4, 5, 6 chords, but he uses a lot of different types of those chords. Like there's A or there's D. There's many different ones of those. He was a master at that. So it starts with a clean stuff. I left that out because there was no click on the backing track. Well, there was, but it was so, yeah, a little bit random, so to say. I couldn't follow that, so I just thought that, okay, I'm gonna play the heavy part, and that's why I look at the screen when the waveform, when the first hit comes, so I know how to hit. But it starts with this kind of. Like that. The guitar is a little bit out of tune. Yeah, the D string was a little bit flat. It's D major, but it's played like this, and then it's A major, played like, so it's kind of like A major slash D or D slash A major. Then it's kind of like C major, but with the D, like a pedal point there. G with the D. And the first is always like the open D and, you know, kind of like hybrid picking. Yeah, the amp I'm using now, it's Marshall 800, JSM 800 for the clean. It's to the low input. As you heard, 800 is, the clean sound is really good. I have a little bit chorus also in front, chorus ensemble. So it's not just one trick pony. That's the one from 85, the little brother. Okay, and then B flat, but with the D. Then it continues. So it's A major, like this. And it's A7, like this. So you press on the here and here. It's kind of D/A. Then this is like D minor. There's the E, so it's add 9. D minor add 9 /A, I think. You know, but anyway, it's like. So the chord shapes. Because in the intro it was a D pedal, but now it's A. Really cool voicings. And here I'm taking this way instead of this, because this finger is already there. And the next, this chord starts here with this. So that it sustains. Back to Plexi with a Tube Screamer. Then it starts. Again A. You could play it here, but I think he played it here. This is kind of like A7, but he just does this. You know, but you could think of this maybe as a G diminished, G major. But the chord behind there, I think it's kind of like A7. And then again this, you know, D/A, but without the A. Looks like this. And then this D minor add 9. So no, it's this one. And then you just put your pinky on the 5th fret or the B string. And then it starts. It's pretty much the same chord, but you just palm mute, you know, with the A string. Fantastic use of chords. And then comes the kind of verse riff. So we start with A, then E lows to E. Tiny pinch there. He used those tiny pinches, you know, every once in a while. So it's like, it's kind of again G diminished. is kind of like D slash F sharp. Kind of F. I mean, this riff itself could be like a vocal melody. Everything what he did was so melodical. You know, serve the song. Then the second part of the verse kind of go back to the previous thing. So it's kind of like A major. You check the B there. Just lift your middle finger. In this same chord. Or you can play. Or I think I just picked that. Sounded more powerful. Like that. And then the pre-chorus, it's a kind of B major voice. Then this is kind of from the acoustic. I don't know if he plays that, but to me this just sounded, good. It is kind of like a F sharp. So the notes are F sharp, C sharp, D, E. And I saw live, he sometimes did kind of like a pitch there. I'm not sure if I did on the song, maybe I just played. And it's E minor. I think on the album it's one does like. Maybe the bass does. And I think one does like fifth harmony. I just played that with power chords, then single notes. I checked out some live clips from YouTube, so he did something like that. But sometimes, he played that differently. I mean, we all do. I don't think I've ever played, one song exactly the same twice. It's always something, because, that's the beauty of it, I think so. You just play how you feel, and sometimes you feel this, sometimes you feel that. Okay, and then comes this. He uses power chords too. This is a good example. So they're not always these kind of inversions and broken chords, so to say. So it's just basic B and F sharp power chords. But here again he breaks, because this is pretty much D, F, but he plays inversions. So it's B and F sharp major. And then the chorus, real simple. The chords are. Kind of the rhythm guitar, but what I played and how Vito played it live, which is on the album too, is these arpeggios. It's a D major, it's A major, like the chords, that's G major. kind of like. Quite basic 80s style. And the ending is. So it just plays kind of like arpeggios on that, at least live. On the album, I think it was Acoustic who did those. But anyway, C major. C major, G major, B. I played this an octave. There's even the D. Really cool. So power chords, and then the acoustics are doing stuff on the chorus thing, and then the you know, arpeggios, inverse chords here, great stuff. And then the solo, it's a song within a song, like Randy Rhoads stuff. So it was pretty much just figure it out by trying to get out of the guitar what I hear in my head, which I usually do. So I'm not 100% sure if Vito played it like this, but I play it like this. This is in the style of Vito by me. Great solo. So it's pretty much in A major. So it starts with this. And the key how you can make these sustains is to, you know, vibrato. Having a vibrato there kind of gives a push to the notes. So first it's just A, and then you tap, and then you bend full step, and then you move your finger here to 21st, and at the same time do the vibrato here. Like that. And then you lift this up. A major. It stays on A major. It's pretty much full step bends, like. I think there's a slight vibrato there. Now comes half step bend, and he taps on 13th, which is kind of like, it makes it minor. It's really cool. Then this. So you pick, and then you slightly touch here. Well, I touch on the 22nd fret, which is octave higher, and it creates an artificial harmony. Almost like feedback. And then half step bend here. Again bend. Like this. And then comes this. And then hammer on from nowhere. Not sure if Vito plays that, but to me it sounds like cool. And then the last thing is. So that's the solo, and then the outro, there's similar chords as what he played in the intro with acoustics. First is just basic, you know, D, 5, then it's D slash A major, D slash C major, D slash G major. This. Like that. And then the song ends back to the 800. Again, a little bit different type of arpeggio picking. Like this. Great song, great examples of Vito's technique. I could go on forever, present other you know, stuffs and licks, but if you're not familiar with Vito Bratta or White Lion, a strong recommendation. He's just an awesome player with the chord inversions. Like on this song, this is a great example. Many different versions of, you know, let's say A chord or whatever chord. He plays always a little bit differently to create a nice melodic kind of, you know, vibe in there. And the solos, they're within songs within a song. So when he's tapping, it's just not like, look ma, I'm tapping. But it's just, you know, because like he said on the interview, like I mentioned earlier, you know, he just did what was needed so that the sound coming out from the amp is the same that how he hears it in his head, because he said that he composed the solos for Pride, probably on Big Game, first in his head. You know, listen and then hummed, and then grab the guitar and figure it out, the stuff he had composed in his head. Kind of like, you know, Beethoven, Mozart. Man. Hey, hopefully this was interesting and, you know, maybe you got some tips and ideas for your playing. Until next time, thanks for watching, all the best, take care, see ya.